I saw the movie Visions, and Charlie saw a movie that has devil in the title.
No, I watched Visions too.
Oh, shit.
Visions 2.
Oh, man, I'm shocked. Wow.
The sequel to the movie that came out last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the name of your movie, Charlie? The Devil's Door, or the
At the Devil's Door.
Yeah.
Oh, At the Devil's Door. Okay. All right. Well, we got to convince Steve that our movies are good. So let's see how that goes.
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Janik. All on Movie Versus!
How's it going, everybody? My name is Tyler Lamb. This is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. This is a full episode 15, and I am joined by my co-hosts, Steve Janik. How's it going, Steve?
Going pretty good.
Yeah. And then also, we got co-host Charlie Pixley as well. Chuck, what's up?
Yo, dog.
So,
A man of many words.
oh, always. That's why he's so good on this podcast, because
Yes.
he just has so much to say all the time.
Hey, say a little, but make it count.
Exactly. And Charlie and I have to convince Steve that our movie is the better of the two movies. Again, I saw Visions. Charlie saw The Devil's Door.
At the Devil's Door.
Yeah. It's a weird title.
Most of this podcast is going to be me trying to get that title.
They use the at symbol. Like, it's an email-based horror movie.
That's really depressing because I was expecting it to be like a Girl Scout cookie.
Well, it helped
like
with-
walk around.
It's the
based horror
VHS
movie.
of our time.
It really helped. It really helped with their social media campaign, because they could just say at the Devil's Door, follow at the Devil's Door.
Yeah.
So, Steve, I'll let you just take the reins right now, and now we can go right into the old questions, Q&As. You did.
I'm just.
You
trying
forgot
to,
that you had to ask us
No,
questions.
no.
so
I'm
you're-
trying to decide which movie I want
who
to
you
know,
wanna-
like who I want to hear first from.
Gotcha.
And I think I'm
Well,
gonna go with.
Well, you know that you'll get a quick synopsis from both of us either
Yeah.
way. So.
I think I'm gonna start with Charlie because he has notes. Are those notes in your phone?
Yeah.
Tyler?
No, I took notes, guys.
You are scrolling.
I took notes.
That is a profound amount of notes for you.
I felt like I had to take notes because, as usual, I was drinking. But this time I thought maybe so that I remember things.
Maybe you don't accidentally just tell me the plot of Wedding Crashers, also starring Isla Fisher.
Wait, accidentally? I thought that was part of my research that
Yes.
I had to.
You had to watch all her other movie.
Exactly. So, well, that, and Now You See Me Too.
No, Now You See Me 1. She's not
Oh
in Now You
shit!
See
Never
Me
mind.
2.
Oh, goddamn.
With how Now You See Me 2 went, though, I wouldn't be surprised if each time you rewatch it, every other time she is in it.
I was just thinking, she's just in every scene in the background if you look like Where's Waldo.
Oh, yeah, probably. She probably is. Maybe that's the real twist all along, is that Isla Fisher's in that movie.
She's every 30th frame, so or 31st, you just miss her each time. It's like, oh, damn.
So it's Charlie. What is this movie about?
Okay, so this movie revolves around kind of two stories and how they merge together. One of them is this girl that was alive in the late 70s, 80s, and she makes this deal with the devil for this boy she falls in love in. You don't really get many details in the beginning about that, but then they, give you more information as the movie moves along. Then the present day part of the movie is about these two sisters. One of them is a real estate agent, and she's trying to sell this house that is haunted, I guess, but not in the traditional sense. It's more just like something happened there, and it's not like a typical haunted house movie. So you find out that that's the house where this girl from the beginning ended up killing herself because when she made the deal, she didn't know all this stuff, of course, was going to happen. She didn't get sweet Ghost Rider powers or anything.
Because no one ever comes out
Correct.
the winner in a deal with the devil.
Yes. So then, yeah.
So she didn't become Nick Cage, you said? She had some...
No, that happened. She just didn't become Ghost Rider.
Okay. That must have been a
Which means
weird
she
transformation
got, no,
scene.
She got a way better deal.
Was it shown Animorph style with her slowly switching into Nick Cage's body? And there's that middle frame where you can pause and it's going to look real fucked up.
That's only in the X-rated version.
Which is what you watched.
Yeah. Well, it's the one that was on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah.
So these sisters have this bond, and you kind of see their relationship go through. And I did like that they had a believable sibling relationship, because I don't like it in movies when it just seems like some typical bullshit, but these seemed like they really could be sister actresses. Yeah. So this lady, the sisters who is a real estate agent, she's trying to sell this house, and she noticed some weird stuff happening. She sees the lady in the house. Everything weird starts happening, and she just tries to proceed from there, figure out what's going on. Halfway through the movie, who I thought was the main character, the real estate agent, dead.
Oh,
Which I was like, I paused it, and I was like, wait, I'm only halfway through this. And then the main character switches over to her sister, who I thought wasn't going to be that important through it, and then it's kind of her role to investigate what was happening and what was going on throughout the rest of it.
But then it turns out that the real estate agent switched bodies with the sister, so the sister was the one that died, and the real estate agent was the one that lived all along.
Thanks, ass.
No, so was the daughter that from like the 70s and the 80s, that wasn't the daughter of the couple, was it?
So the couple in the movie, this is actually one of the better scares. It's a common thing that happens, but it's always an effective one, in my opinion. So the real estate agent finds this girl in the house, and she knew that they were missing the daughter.
And so she thinks it's their daughter.
Yeah, of course. So she calls them, and of course they're like, no, the police actually just found her a few hours ago. And it's like, no, she's right here. And like, no, we're looking right at her. I don't know who you're with. But then the person's like, oh,
like,
shit.
But who is phone?
Exactly, but who is phone?
But I always think that is I always appreciate that scare, because that will be like, you just got to pretend then like, oh yes, everything is normal.
Yeah, you can't react to this terrifying information you've just received.
You're right. This is the person that is right here with me, for sure.
You mean the orphan we adopted is a little child and not a 30-year-old person
40-year-old
person masquerading as an adult?
That movie's entertaining.
Casual hello.
So then she starts doing some research on the area and finds out that this girl killed herself a long time ago.
Okay.
And then it proceeds from there.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't want to go
No.
through every detail, but if you have questions,
I'll probably have some more later. That's a good starting point. Tyler?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of go the same route as Chuck. I'm assuming
throw your notes away.
It seems like there was like some twists, I guess, in the story of what happened. Since you don't want to give away all the details just yet, my story had it's about. I guess I am the one who gets movies with troubled female protagonists, because this is another one, just like Disappointments Room, where the main character she was in a car accident. And in the car accident, the other car was a mother
the devil.
If only. A mother and a baby. And the baby died in the car accident. So Isla Fisher's character is very, she feels guilt for this.
For killing a child.
Well, no, apparently it wasn't. It was a no-fault car accident kind of thing. Like nobody. Yeah, so it was like no.
So she wasn't like drunk and hit this person. It was just like it was an accident that occurred, and the baby just happened to have died.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, but she still holds all this guilt, and she's guilt and all this crap. And throughout the movie, she's also pregnant as well.
Right.
And so throughout the movie, there are different. She's like seeing things. Like weird things happening that aren't there, and a lot of it
visions. She's having visions.
Some might call them that, yes. And she is having these throughout the movie, and it's kind of like these creepy kind of things going on, and they kind of give it all up to her being pregnant and her hormones going crazy. And
can we just talk about how that's just like the laziest trope at this point? Just like, you're crazy because woman.
Exactly. They're like, well,
you're hysterical.
Yeah.
Well, you are pregnant. And like, and it's even worse in movies when like the other women say it. They're like, "Well, I mean, you are pregnant, honey. I remember when I was
pregnant. All I did was eat pickles and peanut butter and imagine that things were exploding
Did the doctor write his prescription for one session of finger banging for you to cure your hysteria?
No, because this wasn't set in the 1800s.
Twist. No, it's not.
Okay.
But
good fucking twist.
it would make no sense because they were in a car accident.
Yeah, like reverse the village.
Yeah, the whole time they were down inside, closed off to the outside world of the 1800s.
Somehow they had developed cars in a tiny.
They're all mole people.
And she, I'm gonna kind of give some characters here. So obviously Sheldon is the doctor,
Right. Right.
And then Jillian Jacobs, is it Jillian or Gillian?
I think it's Jillian.
Jillian Jacobs from Community. She is kind of like basically the doctor's like, well, you know, exercise and stuff can help with that. Like there's this exercise. Charlie just did a pantomime.
I'm not going to glorify that with verbalization.
So he's like, oh, there's this like maternal yoga class that goes on that you can,
and then they play Light as a Feather, Stiff as a
It's called CrossFit.
and Jillian Jacobs is a member of that, and they like hang out and become friends. And there's also like the one thing that kind of starts it off is, I'll give those details later. But yeah, it's basically about this, and she's wondering like what the fuck is going on. Everybody's like, you're crazy, and she's like, I'm not. And then you know things just kind of go from there. Like, is it haunted? Is she bonkers? Is blah blah blah.
All right, so I guess my first question, I'm gonna give this one to Tyler first, since we just got there.
Okay.
What was something that was done well horror wise? Like I know bad horror movies, there's a lot of like eye rolling at whatever it is they're doing that you've seen a bunch of times before, but what's one of those things that they actually pulled off that you were like, oh man, they actually put some work in there?
Well, it was more of there were some jump scares, but as a whole, it's more of a slow burn type movie because she's seen these things. Like but I would say something that was done well was like the cinematography.
Okay.
And they really and obviously like with that lighting and all that stuff, because the mood was really set and it was shot really well. Like it was a well shot film, and the mood of the film was consistent throughout, and they did a good job of setting the tone of like, oh hey, these things are kind of creepy, like this area, what's going on here, like we don't really know, she doesn't know, blah blah blah. And they did a good job of setting that tone.
Okay. Charlie, same question. What's some horror aspect that was actually done well in this movie outside of what we would normally think of when we're thinking about these bad movies?
Okay, so I would say there were some cool chase scenes in it, and one of them that I liked, since it's a real estate agent.
When you say chase, like on foot?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff with her going through every area of the house and stuff. So there's a chase scene at one point between two characters, and they're running from room to room, but the camera's able to. And obviously they just do cuts, but they put it together really well where it could just shift, like strafe along with them right through a wall. So instead of having to, follow them through doors and stuff like that, it was cool to see it just like boom, room to room to room to room. And it seemed all pretty seamless like that. And then I really liked as far as the villain's motivation, it's just kind of like a demon devil type. I guess it is the devil, but the main real estate agent, who you think is the main character of the first half of the movie, she at one point confronts the girl that was alive in the 70s, 80s, and she's been chasing her down like this whole time over and over and over again. And she walks up to her and she sees her kind of doing her weird devil thing. And the devil at one point says, like, you're not even the one that I'm looking for. And she kills her at that point. But it was kind of cool to see a main bad guy where she only killed her because she kept, like, bothering her. She could have just been like, oh, do your own thing and you would have been fine. He's like, you're not even the one I'm after, but you keep following me, so you're dead. And then that's when the sister comes in and starts investigating what was going on. So I just thought that was kind of unique.
All right. Not bad. Okay. So, first one on this one, Charlie. What is something that... Because his horror movies are notorious for this, especially like psychological thriller type movies.
There were 12 and a half nipples in this movie.
Okay.
Oh, you lucky dog.
On one person.
I could and it was a dog.
No,
Yes.
But these kind of movies are notorious for just not being real clear. Like, the trailers are just like, what was that? Like, just some darkness and some movement. What is something that could have been added to this trailer that really would have made you like take a second pause and really want to see it outside of me making you?
Well, probably at least half of those nipples.
Well, I think they could have even put or alluded to the death of the first sister in the trailer and then make the movie seem like it's about the other sister investigating what happened then at that point and make it a little clearer who the girl that we see in the beginning who makes the deal in like the 70s, 80s originally set that time period and let them know that that's from like earlier on.
Okay, fair enough. Tyler, same question.
Yeah.
What would you add to that trailer?
Well, I mean, it doesn't help that I don't remember the trailer at all.
This is literally like the only question I ask. You need to think about it.
I would say, I don't know.
More emojis.
Yeah, more emojis.
Mine
No,
too, though. That's fair.
I mean,
more for mine too.
Yeah, especially the poop emoji.
No,
like that really needed to show
Fire
up.
emojis all
Rated
day.
poop emoji.
Rated poop. And
For teens.
I mean, I guess kind of show what is going, because I from the trailer I don't remember it saying anything about Isla Fisher being pregnant or having that past like traumatic event where she thought she killed something. Like
I think I remember the pregnancy, but I don't remember any of the other.
yeah,
I
feel like they should have at least laid that down in the
I
trailer.
remember Crash and I remember Pregnancy, but that was like they didn't talk about
I never
that there
saw
were other
Crash.
people. Because it was
no, but I do remember Crash as well. I'm not sure how it's related to the trailer, but I mean, it's pretty good
at the,
movie.
At the
Some
end,
of the
Matt Dillon has to pull her out of the car.
I thought that was Ryan Felipe.
Maybe it is.
I thought that was ludicrous.
I mean, it was Matthew Broderick.
Oh God! Wow.
Anyway, yeah, no, I think they really should have like added that in there because it wouldn't have just made the movie seem like a complete crazy person.
I think for both of ours, as far as the trailers go, they more just tried to put in a few of the jump scares in the trailer, whereas obviously would have preferred to save those for the movies and put a little bit more of like what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, that's like really all the questions I have.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys go through like the kind of finish it off. Tell me.
Well, there was. I just want to mention this.
No, yeah, go
because
through like the important stuff.
I'm seeing some of these. First off, I don't think that I know how to take notes because a lot of these things I don't know what they mean.
Well, a lot of mine too. It's like I really should write it more in like the order of what I'm going to say. More of these are just like little things. That
Yeah,
happen.
exactly. Like I don't understand.
Mine are literally like shot for shot. No, like what's happening in each scene.
If you're in a theater and you're like, sir, can you pause this, please? Can you?
Can you play that back? I need to catch that line.
But you actually record it and then go back home and rewatch it and make sure, and you touch up on all your notes.
Yeah.
And you, but one of these notes says bacon dates, and I didn't remember that at first, but this was actually like a funny scene. It could have been unintentionally funny. I don't know, but they move into this new place, and Isla Fisher like made bacon
wrap dates.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah.
And
That's
she
good
and it was
stuff.
like some type of like, hey, welcome to the area community thing, like kind of party. And she brought the bacon dates to the party. And at one point, she picks up the tray and is like, oh hey, like, hey, do you want some bacon dates? Do you want some bacon? And she goes up to the first person I feel like she goes up to is this like one of the main ladies in the community, and she's like, oh, do you want a bacon date? And she goes, honey, let's talk. And just like goes
Wow.
and sits down somewhere. And this whole time, Isla
She's
Fisher's
just,
like,
like,
okay,
holding them.
yeah, Isla Fisher's just sitting there holding this tray of bacon dates, kind of like, so
Do you want?
Did you want
any of these?
And she didn't like get to anybody in the party, and she's got a full tray of bacon dates. I thought that was kind of funny. Charlie, you can say something if you've got something.
Sure. So to give you a little bit more info about the movie, I won't go to the very end just because I'll save it in case you want to watch it. So the girl that made the deal in the beginning, she ends up slowly getting like more and more possessed over time. And at one point, she's a babysitter for like the neighbors, and the couple goes to a party, and the guy's getting a refill of a drink at his party, and in the backyard, you see her walking up to the window, and she just walks up to it, and the dad, of course, is like, why aren't you with my baby? You know, what are you doing over here? And she just goes, she hits the window, and she goes, your fucking baby's dead.
Oh my god!
He's like, what? And they run, and they find she's not really dead, but it was just
Wait,
like,
what do you mean?
What
What do you mean
fuck?
not really? Like she actually was alive?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know.
Okay,
the way
so
you said
this-
that, I didn't know if you were like, she's not really dead.
Not real dead. She's just like
And
kind
this,
of
and
dead.
this was the possessed girl
Yes.
after she was possessed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't just normal. But she's like trying to fight it constantly. So that's why I think maybe it was still alive.
Okay.
So once she realizes there isn't much hope left for her, she ends up killing herself in that house. That then is the house that the real estate agent is trying to sell. And they found out that she was pregnant at the time.
Okay.
So then once the major real estate agent is killed and the sister starts investigating, she finds out what's going on. She goes to the house, figures out all these other things. The demon ends up coming and getting her. This was crazy to see. Once she gets back to her apartment, the main way that he attacks people is they go like and fly up in midair and start spasming out. We kind of see in the trailer where she
she was like on the ground, like
twitching
flopping like a fish.
crazy. Yes, so this happens to her in the ground. She lives in, I think, an 8th story loft or something like that.
And she flops out the window.
Oh, she flops up in the
Like a
air.
fish.
She has like double high ceiling and just up, and is just freaking out. And then straight out the window. And I was like, oh shit, I guess this is how this ends. No, she was in a coma for 8 months, and then when she wakes up, they're like, yeah, you've been in a coma for 8 months, and you were pregnant. We don't know if you remember because you had slight brain damage too.
What?
Oh my god.
So then I'll leave the rest of the movie up for after that, but she ends up giving the birth to the baby, and
It's
clearly
And that was the girl in the 80s?
no, the girl in the 80s killed herself.
Okay, so this is the
sister of
gotcha.
the real estate agent,
Okay.
who then wakes up and the whole time throughout the movie, the sisters are talking. The real estate agent couldn't have kids, so she's like, "I want you to have kids because I want you to be able to, have that fulfilling stuff that I can't." And she's like, "Well, that's not for me." Blah blah blah. So when she ends up getting pregnant, she's like, "What the fuck?" And she's clearly confused, and she gives birth to the little demon baby.
Oh,
Is
thank
it
But
like
it looks like a normal baby.
Oh man, I was
Dang
gonna
it.
ask if it was like that movie.
Because she doesn't know for sure, she just gives birth to it and
What's-
puts
what-
it up for adoption.
What's that John Carpenter short film that was on Netflix with the demon baby? The girl gets raped by the devil, and then she has the little devil baby.
Was it like Seed?
I don't know.
And then like there's
I
a
know what you're
scene
talking
after
about. Isn't like Ron Perlman in it?
Yeah, she gives.
Oh
birth
yeah,
to
you were the one that told me about that. It's like
crazy.
pro life,
Yeah, that's what it is. Pro life. That's
God.
it. And a little
pearl life.
and the little demon baby is like a little crab and is like. But,
It's not a demon baby like that. It just looks like a normal baby. But,
okay.
But
yeah,
they play the music.
I'll go ahead and say what happens in my movie. So you find out that all these visions that have been happening were actually premonitions of what, because apparently she has some type of connection to supernatural stuff to an extent. And what I was going to mention before, when they were at
that
this
show
weird,
has been on for like
Wait,
fucking 18
yeah,
seasons.
exactly. They when they were at
just
that
keeps
weird
going.
like orgy community party club thing.
Wait.
I don't know what I have in my
You,
notes.
you say orgy?
Somebody's
like,
never been to a welcome to the neighborhood party before.
well, I have in
No,
my
what-
notes orgy club question mark.
Was it really an orgy club?
At first, I wasn't sure if it wasn't, but it was. I guess it wasn't. But she like goes inside, and the main lady who's
just
like
naked?
No,
She's
she's
ready
like
to go.
she's like standing in the corner, like chanting, like "Mom, that's
Oh yeah, I remember that in the
She's
trailer.
just hammered.
yeah, yeah, she was so drunk. But But they kind of work together. Like, she's like, hey, no, this shit's been, like, weird shit's been happening. And they're like, okay, well, blah, blah, blah. And then that old lady ends up dying. And when she's dying, she's like, it's not, you're not haunted, it's you. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean? But it turns out, she finds out that all the things that she was seeing were premonitions for a night that was happening. So she comes home.
So there's a night where like all of that just starts like all happening in order.
Yes, all the things. And so she comes home and there's like an intervention. And they're like, hey, you're batshit insane. You need to take your pills. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm not crazy. And then she starts seeing shit.
That's exactly what a crazy person would say.
And then she starts seeing some of the stuff that she's like, wait, hold up, it's fucking tonight. Like, this event is happening tonight. And door bursts down with Jillian Jacobs holding the fucking gun. Turns out that she was the mom whose baby died in the car crash.
She never knew who was in the crash?
No, it was one of those things where they got in the crash. She tried to reach out to them, like, hey, I'm so sorry what happened. Like, please, can we, like, talk? And they never, like, contacted her back.
Oh, okay.
So she comes in, she's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not actually pregnant. Like you thought I was at that maternity yoga thing. Like
some good planning.
Yeah, no, it was that part was funny too because she gets stabbed by Isla Fisher's husband. Like he stabs her in the stomach, and she's basically like, "Joke's on you. This is a fake stomach. I'm not pregnant."
Dude, that's exactly like what is that movie? Taking Lives, the Ethan Hawke, Angelina Jolie movie, where
they were in a movie together.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Mr.
Are you sure you're not talking about the movie Taken? Because that's Selena. Oh wait, not Taken.
Selena Gomez.
Yeah, I was I was thinking of that other Ethan Hawke movie with Selena Gomez where he's in a car and he's like,
and I'll kill
you.
Get
in. What?
I
what is that Ethan Hawke movie with fucking Selena Gomez?
I know what you're talking about because it's a GoPro the movie.
Yeah, they're in the car and she's like a how do you spell Selena? So.
Selena.
Sele. Selena Gomez, Ethan. I don't know. Ethan. No, not Net Worth. Ethan Hawke. It was the movie Get Away. There we go. Why don't you get away? Yeah, no, that's that was a movie. That's what I was thinking of.
No, it's not that movie.
But yeah,
it's a different movie.
But she comes in. She's like, no, yeah, me and my husband are like gonna fucking kill you. No, I think she was gonna take the baby. That's what it was. She was like, and because there's a scene where she like has her strapped down to the bed and she like starts fucking cutting her stomach open.
Snap.
Yeah, but then Jillian Jacobs gets killed.
Thank God.
Yeah, the movie ends with everything being
Britta's
okay.
the worst.
Everything being as okay as it can be after
that?
all of that. But yeah, so that's kind of the twist of the movie is that it was actually premonition for a night where shit was gonna go down.
All right.
2 points that I wanted to make. One of the moments that I should have detailed earlier as far as like a horror thing, I did like after the real estate agent gets killed and you see the girl from the 70s, 80s, like that's who the devil uses as like their skin suit body in present day. You see her looking in the mirror and then just like the skin just rots away and he like gets out of her. And it was pretty cool looking. They did a lot of stuff where it was out of focus, so you never had to really see the demon shape fully, but it was gross looking. But I also thought that a lot of the non-scary moments they nailed, like I said with the sibling stuff, but there's a moment when you first meet the sister, the real estate agent is going over to her loft to visit her, and they're talking, yada yada, it's Sunday morning, and then a dude comes out from the bathroom just in his boxer briefs. Obviously.
How'd you know it was Sunday morning? Was it because of how easy it looked?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So the dude walks out of the bathroom, and he's obviously just like,
and he's like, so this is gonna happen.
Well, he walked out and he's trying to play it as cool as you can. He's like, hey, nice to meet you. Blah blah blah. He looks at both of them and he's just like, hey, I guess you both had a really pretty mom. Like you're both pretty. No, it was fine. Like he played it off the way he said it. But the chick he slept with, she's kind of that like rude version of the character, whereas the real estate agent's the nice one. Yeah. She just goes, both our parents are dead. And he's like, okay.
Then pulls on his
he only had boxers on, but if he did, he would have been like, yes. And he just kind of like just walks away. But it seemed legitimate. Like it seemed like that is exactly how it would play out if that were the case, because he just kind of goes and gives his shit like, I'll see you later. And the other girl the whole time is like, oh, just cringing.
So, I mean, is that...
Wait, one more
yeah,
thing. Sorry,
I think I've said my piece.
So since it goes back and forth between the 70s and present day, instead of just like saying, this is the 70s, this is the present day, since a lot of it takes place in this one main house, it transitions, like how you see the time stuff. It looks at different rooms, and then if it's present day, you'll see that room fade into then the completely staged, like white walls, new carpet, and everything like that. And then whenever it's going back, it'll have a different room, and it'll fade into like what the room used to look like in the 70s, which I thought was kind of neat instead of just putting the date.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I've pretty much said what I feel like I wanted to say up until, the end.
Yeah. Charlie, got anything else? I see you going through your notes.
Well, I don't know. Some of the stuff is just like funny stuff.
Yeah, that's the same here. Pretty much the rest of my notes is like funny stuff. And then also like some of these notes I just want to read because I legitimately don't know.
Okay. So final thoughts, last chance. Tyler, nothing else?
No, I
right.
think that's about it. I mean,
Charlie, last. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Two things really quickly. One, at the beginning when she's selling her soul to the devil, it's in just some trailer in like Southwest America.
Yeah, the
And they did a
Breaking
great
Bad
job.
trailer.
Kind of looking like that, and they did a good job of just capturing like grungy disgustingness, which is unpleasant
also a lot of
to
Nirvana.
watch.
And
Yes, no, really like that kind of look though.
Everyone's
like all
wearing
the squirrel
flannel.
So you sure
and
they
just
weren't-
disgusting?
Are you sure they weren't in Seattle then?
No,
No, it was like Seattle, but with like heat.
which sounds
like warmed
which
over
sounds
garbage.
terrible as hell with how much rain Seattle gets.
That does sound awful.
And then the other thing, it kind of plays on a childhood fear, not something that I was like
Of being possessed by a
specifically-
demon?
No, nothing that I was specifically afraid of. But anytime you're a kid and you would go into like a basement somewhere, and if somebody would flick the lights off on you, it's like, okay, you fucking piece of shit. And that's one of the things that the real estate agent, she's in the house by herself. And if I were her, I would be packing at all times if I was walking around unknown houses by myself. So she goes in the basement, and of course the light breaks, and then she's just in complete blackness. It's like, that is a simple, standard horror movie technique, but something about it being in a basement as opposed to like an upper level floor, and it's not
Yeah.
a walkout basement. Always like
Just, like, completely pitch black.
Hits me in the childhood fears. We didn't have a basement, but anytime I was over at one of
friend's
my family
house.
members or something that had it, it's like the lights go out. It's like, oh shit.
All right.
I mean, there was no Home Alone heater in there, but
Hello, Kevin.
That would definitely break
then I
the
would have
mood
pissed
of
my
the-
pants.
You'd have been terrified.
I would no.
All right, this is actually pretty hard. Like both of these sound pretty good. Like Tyler, I'm actually like I think it's really cool that they did that thing where it was kind of like a bunch of things that all kind of merged together into one event. And like pretending to be pregnant for that long con is kind of impressive too.
Well, no, yeah, because there was like an 8-month jump in the story. I didn't mention that. Because she kind of takes her pills for a while, and it's like 8 months later.
Oh shit.
And
That's funny that mine had the same too, because then it's like, oh, we're just at the point where she can have the baby at any moment.
And then with Charlie's, I really actually kind of like the idea of them kind of building a story, and then usually I'm not a fan of trailers that just try to hide the entire storyline. But like this one actually sounded pretty decent, and I like the way they sounded like they did the transitions from like past to present actually sound pretty cool too.
But it definitely veers because I was fully expecting the one real estate agent to be the main character the whole time, and then for it to halfway through be like, ugh, dead, and then it's like shoots off in another voice.
This is pretty.
well, you got to make a decision, Steve.
I think I'm gonna give it to Charlie.
Yay!
I think I like the story, like as much as I do like the idea of all the stuff coming back together in one final like denouement.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah, sure, Steve. It didn't sound like you just kind of choked on something a little bit while you're trying to speak, but
No,
I totally know what that means.
That's a real word.
Sure. I'm not saying it isn't.
Screw you guys.
Because we're uncultured.
Yes.
Yeah. But I want to see how this plays out with this second. I actually do kind of just want to see the scene where he's like, I'm done with you. I'm tired of you just being annoying and murdering that chick.
Oh yeah,
and then kind of like reboot on movie.
Yeah, and it's so really because the demon was like walking away from her constantly. She's like, wait, wait. Okay, you're done.
That's pretty funny.
So
what do you want to hear real thoughts from first? So Charlie wins.
I want to hear real thoughts from you.
The Devil's Door wins.
I want to hear real thoughts from you first, Tyler.
This movie was a fucking hodgepodge mess, dude. It was
not a hodgepodge.
It made so much of it made no fucking sense. Like that's why my notes probably don't make any sense. Like I got notes here that say, well, first off, I like my first one is Isla Fisher can't look sad. Like just something about her face.
She like
always looks like at least just at peace with everything. Like there's never there was they started him and his her and his oh my god, her and her husband. There was like a kind of foreplay scene before they started banging, and it was such a hard cut to black. Like right when the foreplay started, and it lasted for like 4 to 5 seconds that I thought my internet like broke, and I was like,
were there some sound effects? Was it?
No, it was just dead silence for like 5 seconds, just black screen. Right where you would imagine they would do like some like camera pans of them like
camera pans with blue light,
them making out or whatever, but no, just hard cut black. I was like, what the. My fucking internet, and then it came out. I was like, oh, okay, that was weird. One of the things that I'm sure you would like, Steve, as a training to be a pharmaceutical person.
Oh shit.
They say, well, hey, the doctor's like, I mean, you should take these pills can help with you dealing with all this kind of stuff, and she says, I don't want to take any pills because they'll hurt the baby. And my reaction was, why would the doctor recommend any pills that would hurt the baby? Like, the doctor's like, oh, shit, you are pregnant. Fuck. Well,
take these prenatal vitamins. Pregnant people aren't supposed to take pills. Actually, only pregnant people are supposed to take them.
There was some weird thing about a crystal meth factory. Like there was just all of a sudden she was just like doing detective work at a crystal meth. But it ended up just being people doing construction. It was, dude, I don't even.
For real?
Yes.
I thought you were just going off on something else.
Okay. Like this isn't like that time where you forgot which movie you watched.
And this is another one that you'll like. He says like, later he's like, no, you can take these pills. Like, there's not many side effects. And Isla Fisher says, no one knows that.
I mean, granted, there could be like some unknown side effects,
but it's not like he said. It's not like he said there are zero side effects. He says there's just not many, and she says no one knows that. Like there aren't.
We just learned about this heavily, and it's usually like you don't give pills to a pregnant woman unless they fucking need them, and it sounded like this chick needed some pills.
I have this written down here, which I mean. I could have I don't know if this happened in the movie. Maybe I just like thought of a band name or something. But I have Farmers Fertility Cult written down.
Does that have anything to do with the orgy party?
No, this is way down after the orgy party. The orgy party was the beginning. An orgy club ? Not an orgy party. Because he was like, because the guy
like
was
a full club. They meet often.
Well, the guy did a toast.
what you're saying.
The guy did a toast and was like,
let's get naked.
Welcome to the club. It's a prestigious thing. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
There is the orgy Tupperware party that happens every month.
But I do want to know what Farmers Fertility Cult is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a new grunge rock band coming up in Seattle. Maybe it's
coming up
in
in Seattle, New Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it was funny that the doctor was at the intervention, including someone that I don't remember ever seeing in the movie. So,
some random person.
Yes.
We really love you, and we want you back. Who are you?
And the main problem with this movie was the script. I think the director and the actors tried, but the script was. It might have read fine, but it just was bad. And it had a line in it where when Jillian Jacobs comes in and is like, all right, everybody, like, get the fuck on the ground. We're going to kill all you motherfuckers. Isla Fisher is like, oh, my God, and it's you, Jillian Jacobs? And Jillian Jacobs is like, haven't you figured it out by now? "You're so stupid." That's a line in the movie. Like, can't you see?
Isn't it obvious that I'm the person you hit with the car and killed their child? Like, how would I ever know that?
Like, how have the pieces not fallen in place for you yet?
I mean, because you've been lying. That's why.
Did they show where the baby was sitting in the car when it was in the
was it
No.
front seat?
rear facing?
They didn't say, and it was kind of confusing at first because I have the first note I
she
have
Britney
is
Spearsing
actually. The first note I have is actually just baby question mark because she's
you didn't know that there was a baby involved.
because she the first like opening scene is her being kind of like on a stretcher in a hospital, obviously, like them like, oh hey, we got a blah, 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 like fucking get this, and she's just like, the baby okay? Did the baby? And I'm like
Isla Fisher's asking about the baby.
yeah, and I'm like,
About
what
the
the
baby
fuck is she talking
That
about?
she
Like,
doesn't know about.
yeah, like how would she know that there was a baby in the other car? And I was like, is there a fucking baby? Like, what is this even?
Was she pregnant at the time?
No, she was not.
Okay.
But then that's what, apparently Jillian Jacobs couldn't get pregnant again or something, and she was insane, and her husband is only in the movie at that very end, and he's like got a hunting rifle, and he's shooting people in the back. I think Sheldon dies.
Oh, thank you.
I think...
Should have mentioned that. If it were me,
I would've won.
Could have said that at the beginning.
Man,
Sheldon dies.
There's just so much.
Let's wrap this up.
There's just so much of it that was. I mean, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I know, obviously, a movie like this, that's kind of the point to an extent. But when it gets to a point where you're just like, what? Like, I rewound it a lot, too, because I was like, wait, what the fuck was that? What? Am I supposed to notice something on this mannequin that you're looking at in a mirror?
Yeah, I can't remember. There's a movie, I think it might have been either the second or third Bourne movie, where, like, the director just got real, like, ridiculous with the shaky cam.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, I get the idea of the shaky cam, but you need to figure this out, because this is just a mess. Like, you're just too much
in a tripod.
But like it sounds like that's doing what your movie was doing. Like, you're like, okay, I get you're trying to be a little arcane about the whole situation.
Yeah.
But you need to give me some information at some point.
And honestly, if you look at some of the shit, it makes no fucking sense. Like, it's probably in the trailer. You see that like figure in the hood that ended up being Jillian Jacobs. Like, she pulls off. It's like, why the fuck are you in this hood? Like, why didn't you just come to the fucking intervention with it strapped? Like, what? Like, why?
Yeah.
And then also, like, now that I think about it, why was she wearing her fake pregnant belly when she showed up? She could have just been like, oh, was it for this reveal after she got? Did she plan to get stabbed and then be like, joke's on you? Like, what? I mean,
he will stab me exclusively in the stomach.
Yeah, and there was stuff that just didn't really line up with it.
What if she was pregnant and then that dude just killed that baby and it wouldn't have killed her?
An entirely
I thought that's what happened.
craze situation.
At first,
You must be like, oh shit.
yeah, I was like, oh. Pulls out the never mind. Just Charlie. Yeah, your real thoughts. Let's hear that.
Charlie?
This movie, I don't know. It has 1 star on Netflix. I don't think it deserved that by any means. I think it was just.
Oh, hey, mine had 2.5. It didn't deserve that by any means.
I think it was just misguided. So I would have probably killed the real estate agent a little bit earlier.
The actress who played her.
Yes. A few of the scares didn't work. Like the scene where the chick from the 70s/80s was riding that rocking horse. Remember that in the trailer?
Yeah.
That was the dumbest part of the movie to me. And it really didn't have that effect that they were going for. It's like, oh, it's supposed to be creepy and kids, so it was stupid. But some of the other stuff was good. I would say it's actually worth watching for the most part. Since it was free.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, when I was listening, I was not expecting you to be that upset about your like.
I'm not
like
upset about it.
I thought both of you guys really sold it. I was legitimately like interested by both of these movies.
Well, I mean, like I said, Visions was a well-made movie.
Right.
It's just sometimes with a movie like that,
You can only do so much.
There can be one thing that is just so drastically bad that like
It
it doesn't
unravels
matter what
everything.
anybody does, you're not gonna solve what's the problem. So
Yeah. I actually could have spent a little more time with this movie. Like, if it would have been 15 minutes longer or something, I think that would have been fine. But especially watching it just on Netflix, not paying for it, I would say if you don't have anything to do, I'd say it's worth watching.
All right, okay.
I'd like to get a little more into the lore and the way that it ends too. I'd like to see like a time
just a
jump
little
or
bit,
something
yeah.
like that.
So, At the Devil's Door has a 28% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hold on, can I mention 2 more points?
No,
real
you
quick?
can't. You're actually. I'm gonna have to cut off your mic for the
Okay,
rest of
so
the cast.
there is a sonogram jump scare though, where they're looking at the baby.
Those
it's
are
like,
the best words I've ever heard.
You know, and then,
Sonogram jump scare.
you know, it's like you see the baby's the profile of its head, and then it looks towards her, and it's like a full fucking demon at that point. Only she sees it though. And I was like, oh shit! I mean, like the full ram's horns and like skull face, and the doctors don't see it, but probably one of the funniest moments in the
Sorry,
movie.
I'm just imagining a doctor being like, "That's the first time I've seen that." we may want to abort this one.
might run a few more tests.
I know I shouldn't have taken those pills. So when the real estate agent is over at the house, before the dude comes out of the bathroom, they're talking. The sister's like, "Oh, I always loved this photo of us," and the non-real estate agent sister's like, "You can have it. I always looked like a spaz in that one." And they show the photo, and it's a picture of them as kids, but the one is just a toddler, and the sister says she looks like a spaz. She's a baby. She's in like a diapers wearing baby. She's like, "I look like a spaz in that photo." It's a fucking baby picture. So when I was seeing it, I was expecting to be like, "Oh, they're middle school, and
Yeah,
you know, the hair is
like-
all a mess and everything like that."
Okay.
Okay.
God,
Funny.
get it together, baby me.
Seriously. Wow, so cringeworthy. I can't believe I dressed like that as a baby.
Yeah, I can't believe that someone put me in that onesie.
Always topless.
So yeah, 28% for At the Devil's Door. 18 total reviews, 5 fresh. Let's see what we got here. Things pick up, but too late to really have any impact.
That's why I was saying, like, I would have killed the real estate agent a little bit earlier and have the investigation part of it start earlier.
It sounds like they took too long to transition into like the real movie, and then you're
Yeah.
like, well, we don't have enough time to do anything with this part.
Or add more time into the movie then.
Creepy atmospherics aren't enough to compensate for the muddled storyline. This is a positive one. I always love these ones that we get for these movies.
When they're positive, and you're like, is that?
Yeah, it's a fresh rating, but this guy
you-
said part Paranormal Activity, part Rosemary's Baby. It's never clear where the story is headed from one moment to the next. I guess that could kind of be like, oh, twists and turns,
But it sounds critical of
it
that.
does. It does. Another positive is McCarthy the director, shows he's mastered the things we already know scare us on screen. Next, how about something we don't expect? Which again,
Ooh, yeah, that sounds like a dig.
yeah. My film Visions, I own it now. I have you
You have
money
legal
in the
rights.
yeah. I've
You have
invested.
distributing.
Is that a 21% on Rotten Tomatoes? 14 reviews only. 3 of them are fresh.
Well, I mean, you had $5, and you were like, Subway sandwich or the rights for Vision.
Yeah, and I was
need to
able to
get
get both.
That's like barely enough for a Subway sandwich.
So let's see here. We've got it's not quite as gripping as The Gift, but Visions is still worth watching. Sometimes it pays to play by the book. It's a fresh review for that.
I mean, to be fair, that actually, fortunately, that did sound like a fresh review.
A negative one, the premise could be interesting, but the script and the delivery are bad. And then the full review is in Spanish. So we could go, I could spend the next end of the podcast reading that full review in Spanish. Because
Please do.
no, thank you. And a positive one here, an entertaining film with a very surprising ending. And I'll get to that. Like I did not expect that twist. You know, I mean, and it was a welcome change to a point for the supernatural stuff to be like
to be also kind of mundane.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, actually, this is just her having premonition. We got Visions is a film without the slightest hint of personality. By the way, the last 3
That was a fresh review.
there are a lot of reviews here that have
4
full
stars.
review in Spanish. This is the first time I've ever seen it, especially this.
That's
often.
weird. And in my movie, there's a scene where there's caution tape, and they just live in like middle America, it seems, for most of the movie, and it's all caution tape, but it only says "Cuidado." No caution at all in
Okay.
it. Yeah, I know.
That's weird. But yeah, I mean, that's about it, I guess, with the reviews and all that jazz.
And that's probably butchered pronunciation, so I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To our Spanish speaking listeners.
Yeah, they're using our podcast to learn how to speak English. They listen.
That is a mistake.
They listen. They're being held captive, and this is the only way that they can listen. Bush. That they can. My favorite American music is a jizz. Why? That was like an Italian accent. I apparently.
No, they go somewhere and they're like, what's your favorite music? They're like, my favorite is Linkin Park. Hybrid theory.
How do you say hybrid theory?
That's how far I've fallen, guys. I'm now part of it.
How do you say? Wow.
I think that's the icing on the cake there. So I hope that those listeners, the chances that you're getting to sneak away from your captors and listen to the podcast in order to learn and learn how to speak English. I hope that that's going well. We know you're out there, but for some reason we're not helping, I guess.
In the next podcast, we're gonna bake a file into a cake for
I mean, is there anything else that we?
I don't think there can be.
Yeah. So next week is, I guess we're gonna do another.
Yeah, I think it's the finale of horror month, and
That's sweet. We all get to have one. Then.
It is,
and it's being run by Charlie, the king of
what?
The king of
the king of Scream.
Yeah, the king of horror in the
queen,
group.
the queen of Scream. Charlie, the Queen of Scream.
Well, that's unrelated to horror. But
True.
what were you gonna say, Steve?
Some might find it
just
horrific.
that I know you watch and enjoy a lot of scary movies, and I know. I guess it's probably a pretty good battle between the two of you to be like, I'm just so far away from like you guys.
We watch enough for both of you. For you, Steve.
It depends if you count sci-fi films as horror films, because then Charlie's leagues ahead of me because I haven't seen a lot of those movies.
Like what?
Like
just
the
sci-fi
original
films.
movies that are like horror-esque.
Sci-fi channel movies.
Yeah,
I thought you meant the actual genre.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I have seen many of those.
Charlie's getting really excited about that.
I mean, they're fun to have on a Sunday or something, or you're just chilling.
When you're trying to be easy.
Yeah.
Like that Sunday morning. I got it again. Good joke, Tyler. That's what they call me. Good joke, Tyler.
That was Tyler high-fiving himself.
Yeah, do it all the time because I don't need anybody else to high-five me.
Ultimately, I would say give this movie a chance if you're looking for something to watch. If you haven't watched all the horror classics, though, definitely do that first. But if you're very well versed in all that stuff, yeah, sure, give it a shot.
I would say don't watch my movie. It's not interesting. It's boring and it's stupid. So yeah. Other than the
seeing that lady get thrown out of that window, I was not expecting her to shoot, because other people in the movie were up in the air spazzing out, and then
were there people there when it happens? Like,
no.
Or do people watch?
Oh, I wish it was a dinner party.
It just starts going down, and everyone's like, "Oh, that can't be good." And then she just goes at the window like, "Okay."
I did tell Tyler about this earlier. I meant to bring it up in the final thoughts. This movie is so literally dark in moments where it's like I can't see shit.
Well, wasn't that the problem in yours when we were watching the trailer? Like there was like a jump scare in the trailer.
Yeah,
I think it was yours.
One of ours. Where then at the end, it's like I don't know what I was supposed to be scared of because I couldn't see anything.
There was like a jump scare that we could not visibly make out.
It got better in the second half, but in the first half, it really was like okay. I mean, I can't see a lot of the shit that's going on.
A real AVP Requiem.
Yes,
it's so dark. You're like, what? What's like? Yeah, no, that movie is pitch black, starring Vin Diesel. That would only
AVP Requiem is a different movie.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Steve, but AVP Requiem is
when you buy AVP Requiem, it's just pitch black in the DVD case.
Dude, I hope Xander Cage and the Furians is in like the same universe as Aliens and Predators, though. That would be fucking awesome.
Awesome. Xander Cage is not his name though.
Oh well, no, Xander Cage and the Furians because it's all the Vin Diesel.
Oh, you're
universe.
saying the Vinverse.
Yes.
Okay,
My bad, Riddick.
Okay, yeah. You just meant the Vin Diesel cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure. We can talk about the intricacies of how all those tie together at another time. But I guess thanks for listening. I don't know. I guess.
I mean, I do appreciate that.
Thanks
Riddick
to
has fallen. Xander, we need your help to protect the Furians.
They always call on me when they need help. I look cool doing it. That's a terrible.
Oh, we all got to see that shit.
Yeah, we do. That is 100%. Have you, Steve, Xander Cage, Return of? That's the official title of the movie.
Xander Cage Return of.
Yeah, there's a comma there.
It's not even XXX3.
Xander Cage Return of. Have you seen the trailer for that, Steve?
No.
Oh boy, we're doing that after. Yeah, we're doing.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, thanks to Jeremy Lamb for the theme song. Thank you to Three Wise Media Network.
And to the listeners.
Yeah, listeners.
Yeah, viewers like you.
I that's what I was going to bring up. Next month, I was thinking of doing listener suggestion month, maybe. We'll see how
full month?
things
Sure.
go.
Full
Yeah,
month
we
of
can do a full month of that. So if you have suggestions, then hit us up on the Twitter or Facebook or Gmail, all Movie Versus Podcast, and let us know movies that you want us to do.
I know we already do have a couple of like suggestions floating out there that we'll have to
It's
throw in the mix.
The more the merrier. I want to
know
what you guys want us to try to defend. It'll be fun. So other than that, I think we did all the little housework at the end.
The old plugs.
We're good on all that, I guess. So bye.
Movie Versus is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.